Hi, within this lecture, we're going to see how to inject some SQL codes in order to retrieve this information from the Mutillidae database. So I'm running my Firefox and I will just browse into my Metasploitable machine's IP address in order to go into Mutillidae website. So let me make this a little bit bigger. Then I will go to 10.0.2.5, which is my Metasploitable machine IP. So it will open the default dashboard for me, and I will just browse into the Mutillidae. And we have worked with DVWA before, but we haven't worked with Mutillidae. Now, if you go here to login register, it will ask you for a name and a password. And if you don't have any accounts, you can register from here. And remember, the username was the admin and the password was the password. We already know this, but we're going to make this a real example. So I'm going to create a new user. So I'm choosing the username as James, and I'm choosing the password as 6 ones, okay? 11111. And for signature, you can just write whatever you want. You can just write James, or maybe we can write something different than James in order to avoid any confusion. So I'm going to say Kirk. So here we got an error message. And as you can see, it's trying to write into some files and it fails to create these records. And it says that Metasploit.accounts doesn't even exist. So here we have a more detailed information. It's trying to run this code, insert into accounts, and the columns were the username, password, and my signature, and the values was the James 1111 and Kirk. So this is why we have practiced SQL codes in the previous section. We're going to use this kind of commands in order to retrieve data from the databases. And this isn't even the part of the practice. This is a bug coming with the Metasploitable machine. And in a minute we're going to fix it, but before we do that, I just wanted to show you how you can see the commands, how you can be certain of the debugging process. So we will see this kind of errors along the way, but this is a bug. This isn't even the part of the practice, as I explained. So now we have to fix this in order to continue with our progress. And the problem here is that this Metasploit.accounts doesn't even exist. So you have to go into your Metasploitable machine to change some configuration file, edit some configurations in order to have a proper database. And in order to do that, you have to edit a config file as usual. So you have to run this command, nano var www mutillidae config.inc. And you have to add sudo in front of the command because it requires some administrator access. So sudo nano var www mutillidae config.inc. We're going to edit this file using nano editor like we used to do in the previous sections. Okay? So if you hit enter, it will ask for a password, and this is MSF admin again. So this is the default password for our admin user. So this is our configuration file, and as you can see, this database is hosted on localhost and the user is root, and also in the bottom we have a value called Metasploit, and we have to change this Metasploit, okay, in order to have a proper configuration. So come here to Metasploit, okay, with arrows, and delete it. After you delete it, you have to write OWASP 10 with a W, okay, and that's it. Now you have to save this with Ctrl O and hit enter and then Ctrl X to get out of this. So now we are out of this file. If I say clear, now I'm okay. And I believe now we are done. We just changed Metasploitable to be OWASP 10. So let me go to login register page one more time and try to register a new user. I'm again trying to register with James account, so I'm choosing the same password and I'm giving the same signature as well. And if I say create account, now it is created for me. Now I get to practice my SQL injections. So right now, suppose that we know this James account, but we don't have the password, okay? Even though we have it. If I say 1111, it will surely log in here, but I don't want to do that. I'm just going to log out and I will pretend not to know the password. So rather than giving the proper password, I'm just going to give a single quotation mark. So this sign, not double quotation mark, but single, okay? So if you type it in here and hit login, as you can see, we broke the system. So it tried to run this command, so select everything from account where username is James, this is correct, and the password is 3 quotation marks. So this is what broke the system. And we got this detailed error message. And in real life examples, of course, you wouldn't find this clear, this detailed error message, but some regular error messages may be, but it really doesn't matter. Metasploitable machine is configured to give these detailed error messages so we can see what we are doing. In real life, even though it has some SQL injection vulnerabilities, you may not see this kind of detailed message, but it really doesn't matter. As I said before, you can still do the SQL injection even if you don't see the diagnostics. So we're going to stop here, and within the next lectures, we're going to discuss how to use the single quotation mark technique in order to test for SQL injections.